I thank the gentlelady. I thank my colleagues for joining in this effort tonight. I'd like to thank my colleague and co-author of the House version of this bill, H.R. 2191, Cynthia Loomis of Wyoming, for her support and leadership on this issue. I want to also thank Senator Dianne Feinstein and Senator Enzi. Senator Feinstein has supported this legislation, was actually the original author of this legislation back in 1997. Breast cancer. There's not one person probably in this room who hasn't been touched by breast cancer, either themselves or through a family member or through a friend. Our colleague, courageous colleague, Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, Senator Heidi Heitkamp, spouses of many members have all been impacted. My mother survived breast cancer. One of my best friends did not. My health legislative assistant, who worked on this legislation, lost her mother to breast cancer. She was only 13 years of age when her mother died. This is an important bill, but what's most important about it is the fact that we have made some progress. But still, 1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer in her lifetime. It is still the second leading cause of death for women in this country. What's really important about this legislation is the genesis of this legislation. It's an all-American story. It reminds me of the quote by Margaret Mead, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." In this case, it's a story of an immigrant who came to this country, who got educated here, became a doctor at 26, became a breast cancer surgeon in Sacramento, California. His name is Dr. Ernie Badai. And he was concerned and frustrated by the slow pace of breast cancer research and all the surgeries he found himself doing over and over again. So what did this breast cancer surgeon do? He came to Congress. He made 15 trips to Congress. He spent over $100,000 of his personal money to convince Congress to pass a breast cancer stamp. And in so doing, was able to generate over, as we've heard already tonight, $80 million. In fact, we are coming close to having sold almost 1 million stamps in this country for breast cancer research. One man had a vision. He came to Congress. It took him over 2 years to convince us to do it, but we did it. And it's time now to reauthorize the legislation, and I'm hopeful that we will do it because it has, in fact, shown to be very effective. In fact, it's been used in finding genes that are protective against breast cancer, linking treatment outcomes with certain genes, and identifying women with a low risk of recurrence who can be spared chemotherapy. So, my colleagues, this is an important bill to reauthorize. The deadline, as we've been told, is fast approaching. Let's continue the search for a cure. Let's be part of that search by buying breast cancer stamps and by reauthorizing. I yield back.